Okay, Jess. Why do I have a wand? Because we have a magical guest today. Do you
It's
know who it
magical
is?
unicorn.
We're going to let her in. Elley Ray. Come on now.
I love her. There she is.
Ah,
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought you were interviewing someone else.
no, no, no.
I wasn't listening, and I thought, "Oh gosh, I don't know what I was
That's
doing."
a riot. I was
That
trying
sounds
to like
ideal.
be a little colorful for you, Ellie, to like to, and bring my like magic wand here because you
I
are
saw your
magic.
magic wand, and I got very, very excited because I was surrounding myself with little unicorns, and I picked 3 angel cards because I was like,
Oh,
"Geez, I wonder what we want to talk about," and I just hooked in the last moment about, spirit connecting. I feel like everybody is having a near life experience here
mm,
together in this realm. And thus being, we only touch moments of absolute like pow because we don't allow our soul to lead us. We have a soul purpose and our spirit is at the in the driver's seat, but we're
yeah.
neutral, parked with the motor running, not going anywhere. And it's like
Mm.
places where all of the sort of disenfranchised establishment mentality where our ego gets just bothered takes away from our creativity because it doesn't come from source and it doesn't let spirit lead.
Well, we were so like honored that you came on our little silly show. We have Elley Ray on today, which is amazing. We'll get to it, but both Jess and I fell in love with her at VO Atlanta. An award-winning actor, voice talent, writer, coach, and teacher, and magical human being, really. Been in the industry for over 40 years. Ellie has performed in over 300 theatrical productions, hundreds of on-camera and movies series and movies to her credit, and voiced literally thousands of commercial campaigns, animated series, animated movies, games. She's voiced characters on My Little Pony, The Becky and Bagel Show, Corn and Peg, Hotel Transylvania, love, Cyber Chase, and Arthur. She's also narrates the TV series Guilty Rich. She has published 2 books. And both, as I was saying, both Jess and I met Ellie at VO Atlanta about 4 to 5 years ago, and I had the honor of reading for her, and I think Jess said she took one of her the class, and said it was her absolute favorite at VO Atlanta. And
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
what don't you do, you magical unicorn?
I mean, I'm you, so I mean, we do it all. Like, I mean, we get that's the confusion is that we sort of show up, and I don't believe in institutionalized training. I don't believe as an awakener, I'm going to teach you how to voice anything. That's not you. We can communicate. We just don't. I
Mm.
mean, just don't. We forget our audiences. I think the magic lies in all of us recognizing that we are required to ignite, excite, and save a planet. Like we're in deep trouble. There's no heroes. And I believe the storytellers are the heroes. And I certainly am not going to teach you how to be you. I can only deal with myself as part of the team. When we talk about sort of classes or workshops, or I think it's all foolish. I mean, which is why in person for me, it's like come and meet me at the top of the CN Tower and do the edge walk for $200. That's your workshop. That scare the bejeez out of yourself and move the needle.
Yeah.
Take a flamenco dancing class, take a circus class. When I'm with people in person, I'm like, I am not your voice is so gloriously magical without
Yeah.
anybody telling you what needs to happen. So I stick a pin in your bum when you're doing stuff in person so you actually can react, or I squirt you in the face with a water pistol because I'm not going to say button the backhand, speed up this, do what all that
Yeah.
nonsense. It's just
That's
garbage.
technical. It's not feeling. Like that's totally
Yeah,
okay.
it has
So agree.
nothing to do, it's institutionalized. And what it does to your spirit and your soul's journey is it goes, I don't, I don't know what I'm doing. You know what you're doing the moment you're born. And the only thing you need to celebrate is the breath you take every second because you're alive. So as a human being, we have reason and we have each other and we have choices. So, response driven dialogue with opinion and discovery is all you need to do. Nobody's going to tell you, oh, your voice needs to be more luxuriated or more, please,
Yeah.
that's where I go, no, 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 no,
I
no.
always hate that because I did meet with you after I went to View Atlanta once, and you what I loved about you is because I'm not really, as you know, not someone who really coaches. I know that seems weird in this world, but because I trust my instincts, right? And when we met, you were all about like I don't know, like owning that and like being okay with that. And also I remember having been told by some people like I shouldn't have my acting and my writing and all this on my page. And you were like, screw that. Like you should have all of what you
Good. I
are,
like that.
all the magic that you are on your page. Like
Well, because that is what makes you
a
that
good
is your
voiceover.
storyteller. Your storyteller is not a voice.
Right.
And
Right.
anyone who thinks that it has something to do with the voice that I make
Nothing.
is confused.
I
So that's
agree.
all you need to know.
So we
Get
were
that.
in line with that thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
why
I
I like
also
talking.
remember when I met you, Michelle, I said, you're going places, you're going big places. And at the time, originally, you had some physical medical issues that
Yeah.
you were
I
working, as
always,
we all do. They come in
yeah.
as gentle reminders of what, to focus on. And it doesn't debilitate you in any way. Your storyteller is always going to be this wise genius. But we long to sit around fires, singing, dancing, and sharing
Mhm.
fable. That's who we are. If we are
Yes.
here meeting together, the three of us and everyone else
Yeah.
that is listening, you long to inspire and ignite others. You remember audiences. That's
Yeah.
all that we need to know. And I remember when I met you, it's like we are all glorious. It's just in our reasoning that we forget our
Right.
we
And I
forget.
think a lot of the things that have happened to me, like the physical stuff, has become that's where I can get so vulnerable with
Mm.
a lot of the kinds of reads I do, which is like that very vulnerable, broken like read. And I get hired a lot for that because I can really tap into that easily.
And that's what
It's like
everybody.
unlearning all the stuff you've been told, right?
And guess what? Everybody has been there where you are, and they can hear it and they will know it because it will resonate, which is why
Relatable.
AI is taking over, because we have detached from the emotional vulnerability, which exactly what you just said, because we've been institutionalized. We believe there is a formula. So we pull away from spirit
Mhm.
energy and we
Yeah.
go, let me think about it. As soon as you're thinking about it, you're gone so far away. And if
Yeah.
you can sit in this hurts or what is this thing, it opens up our connection because the whole world is in pain right now.
Yep. I always say like it's the cracks in you that let the light in and let the light out, right? It's the broken parts of you that make it so, people can relate to you. People cannot, I always say nobody is attracted to something that is perfectly symmetrical and everything is perfect. You're attracted to people's weirdnesses, people's like brokenness. People, I always say you never fall in love with someone because they had perfectly symmetrical eyes, right? You fall in love with them because they snort when they laugh or they have a space between their teeth and like you
Hilarious.
fall in
Yeah.
love with their little quirks, right? And their weirdnesses, right? So why do we fight though? We actually did an episode on that. Why do we fight our imperfections? There are where our beauty lies, right?
Well, and remember, I don't know if I was told I would never voice when I was in theater school, and I was quite young because I had skipped 4 grades. And they had told me I was retarded in kindergarten, literally used that word.
Why do people have
Oh, I
those?
was medicated, I was beaten, I was like everything to stop the whatever was going on in me. And so they said I had to repeat kindergarten because I was not normal. And then in grade 2, but I didn't, my mother fought. And then in
Good.
grade 2, I skipped 2 grades, and in grade 6, I skipped 2 grades. And then when I got to university, God forbid, I had 3 scholarships to go to university. I went to theater school, so my parents were like, oh, of course, like, of course. But, they told me, number one, I would never do voice. I had a very unattractive instrument. So because I've had 4 rhinoplasties for a deviated septum, and I've have a cathedral ceiling to the roof of my mouth, and I have an overbite, and I'm wet, and I'm plosive, and I'm raspy, and I'm nasal, and it's not a pleasant sound. So I just thought, oh, okay, I guess I won't be doing that sort of thing. And then they said, and you won't do film and television because you're too tall, you're too angular, you're too flat
Oh
chested,
my gosh.
you're too big, it doesn't work for the screen. So, if we partake in other people's judgments of us as we go along, we will miss our journey. I'm here to tell everyone, never lose faith in your power, your magic. You are alchemical, you are spectacular, you are beautiful, and it will be taken from you by the institution. It will be taken, including all people in the institution. In the Voice World Institution, they'll tell you you're not, yeah, that's not correct. That demo's not very good. This is not right. Your website needs to be this, that. No,
Yeah.
just
That's
no,
refreshing.
no, no. And
Yeah.
we don't have the strength to go, I'm perfect just the way I am. Thank you very much. Because as soon as you believe, and I mean that you believe you're magical, you are. As soon as you don't need somebody to say, hey, that was really good. And without, my ego going, oh, that was really good. I go,
Right.
I know because I'm healing the planet. So I am giving with both hands wide open every ounce of my energy. It's exhausting. It's like I give so much, as we all do with those who are storytellers, in the effort to, that's why we're here,
Right.
to heal our audiences. I don't care if you're selling Viagra, Boston Pizza, or Bank of America. I don't care if it's 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or a minute. It doesn't, or you're doing a 10-hour audiobook. We're there to connect
Tell
and
a
heal
story,
our
connect.
audience. That's
Yeah.
right.
I've heard a lot of people say too, when somebody says you're too much of this or you're too much of that, that's when you start looking and saying, you know what, maybe I am, and maybe that's okay. And that's how you show up in the world, right?
Well, and it's like, if it's too much for you, that's okay. But your opinion of me is none of my business. My opinion of me is my business. If I am going to pour out my love and you think it's too much, that has nothing to do with me, because I'm giving what I want to give.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, every time they go, oh, it's too much or too big or whatever, or will want to quantify, qualify, and make it different, is when you book. And it's almost like the trick of the universe, where I don't question. I leave all my mistakes in when I audition. I embellish. I do. If I make a burble, I'm okay, that's on the lead hammer. Let's try that again, because I don't edit it out. That's not my job to be an editor as an audition. My job is to play and to give you what I feel is my story. And if you don't like it, that's okay. I don't go, I need your approval.
Right.
I
Right.
need my heart to know that I've given the best of me, and the best of me is perfect for me. And I think because of institutionalized training, our spirit gets choked to death.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why I was saying that I come back from conferences, like I know who I am and I have trust in my instincts. And then when when I've gone to conferences, I come back, and to get my soul back, it's because you're getting shot at of like, you're doing this wrong. You should be doing this. You should be doing, and I'm like, it like challenges all of my actual beliefs. And I kind of go, I feel less than, and then I come home and it takes me a while and I get back to being like, what, no, that's not, and like returning to who I know I am and what I know I bring to the table. Right.
Well, and I mean that, because the institution does that all the time, because that's how they make money,
Yeah.
to make you feel like you don't know.
Yeah.
This is where I get into trouble. I'm like, don't stop taking classes. It's not that classes aren't, but honestly, we
Yeah.
think if we take more I'm like, you don't need a new demo. People are like, what? I go, listen, you just spent
Keeping it real.
$5,000 on that. Are you what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is all this nonsense of, you won't get an agent with that demo. And I go, watch this. Hey, I've got this, and people go, oh. I go, well, so explain that. It's either yes or no. So always just say yes. You have an agent? Yes. I didn't say when. Then I make a phone call and I go, see, I told you do. Now, that's the way you got to live. But we don't, because we'll live in the, I don't have this, or I'm not this, or
Yeah.
I can't do this, or I shouldn't, I wasn't, it isn't. Take the not out of the equation. Take the KNOT, which is the NOT. I didn't get the job. Just say I did get the job and see what happens. Just see, and people go, oh, that doesn't really work. Like, how to manifest. I go, wait a minute, you're magical. Remember, you said yes.
You just forgot.
You forgot, right? I do this exercise where I go, I don't know if you know Gravy for the Brain, but I
Yeah.
did a workshop for them, and it was like, I always play my games where I get into trouble, but you know, I said, let's do a little experiment, shall we? Because everybody feels like they're stuck. I want to show you how magic works. All right. So I lifted up my vision board, and as you know, Michelle, I mean, I have vision boards, right?
Yep.
Like I have all these
Nice.
things that I make every year, and I do about 2 or 3 a year because I get all
Oh,
the
wow.
things in my vision board. So I said, pick something on there, pick a logo, because this was last year, and I had gotten everything on my vision board by February 20th
Oh
for
my
that year.
gosh.
So I was like, well, let's pick any logo. So they went My Little Pony. And I said, well, I already got two characters for My Little Pony already this year. All right, My Little Pony. So Laneth, you're leading this workshop. Where are you? Australia. Oh, so what day are you in? Tuesday. I said, huh. I'm in Canada. I'm in Monday, and you're almost into Wednesday. So is the future talking to the past, or is the past talking to the future right now? What time are we in? As Einstein said, the future and the past will speak in the present moment. Back to My Little Pony. Laneth, in Australia, you're in Tuesday. I'm in Monday. Monday is asking you. I have an audition tomorrow, Tuesday, in my timeline for My Little Pony, but let's make it really interesting. It's not a pony. It's not a pony character, and it's a villain. How about that? And everybody knows when we work that you just say yes. You never say, no, I can't, or no. You just say yes. So he goes, yes.
Yes,
And I said,
and
did everybody hear that?
Yes,
And people from England and the United States and whatever. And I said, I have an audition for My Little Pony because I asked the future Tuesday to tell me that I have it. And the future said yes. And so I have an audition tomorrow for My Little Pony that is not a pony character in a villain. Flip forward to Tuesday. I get up. I have an Agent Binky record. I'm doing some stuff. I get bling on my phone. Oh, My Little Pony audition, white tigress villain. I take a screenshot of the audition. I send it to Laneth. I said, I need you to send this with the time and the date on it. Send this to everybody. Now, who did that? What did that? What is that? And
yeah.
this is where I say we do not have faith in our own power because we let outside institutionalized training try and tell us what we're not.
Mm.
We can do anything. We honestly can. And then we'll judge how we do it. I don't care if I say, are you a flamenco dancer? And you go, yes. I don't care how you dance with your shoes. I'll go, awesome. That's awesome. Because that's your interpretation of it. It's just like, well, that's not professional. What the hell? What is it? Fun and engaging and wonderful? What about not a Russian accent? Yes, I can do it. I don't care if Swahili comes out of your mouth. I go, oh God, that's so funny. It's like, you know, Gru, do you think he's doing a Russian accent? No, I don't know what accent that is. It's a culmination of a couple of things, but it's not Russian. Who cares?
It's
Doesn't
like
matter.
being open to that magic and not like allowing all the other noise shut it down.
Well, that's what I say. Here's what we are. We are these incredible vehicles that can travel anywhere, but everybody's in neutral. Their car is running and they're in gridlock. So the chatter of the horns, and we're like not moving anywhere. We're not traveling anywhere. We're stuck going, oh, I can't get it. Oh, I can't move there. I'm late. Ah. We're doing that sort of thing. And it's like, get out of the car and leave the car behind.
Take a
Get out
walk.
of gridlock. Find
Like
another vehicle somewhere else and get the hell out of there. You change it. Nobody else changes it. Not
Changes
a
it for
writer,
you.
not a director, not a producer, not an agent, not a casting person. Nobody like that does anything but you. You're the one. So if you don't like where you are, change it. It's that simple. But people
Mm.
go, I don't know how. I don't. What, hello. You, of course, you do. You're magical.
Right.
You are spectacular. You are gods and goddesses.
Feel like it's more about less about any of the other stuff, but more about getting to like really get back to yourself and like knowing who you are, what you bring to the table, returning to yourself without all that other
That's the card I
garbage.
pulled, introspection. The only way you can come back to yourself is out of the chatter. You've all, and I always say to folks that I'm with and I want to sort of awaken, I'll go 3 minutes every morning, breathe. Remember you're alive. Just sit there and do not 3 minutes. Everybody can do 3 minutes. They think, oh, I have to meditate. Oh, it's so hard. I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah.
Set an intention, breathe 3 minutes, set an alarm 3 minutes every morning and clear. Just nothing. Just sit there and go,
Mm,
and you'll recognize your power
powerful.
when you get connected, when you're introspective, when you literally empty out your mind. Like the mind is where all the ego lives. You want to be living not in the mind, you want to be living in the
Right.
the heart, which houses our, our soul spirit energy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And people get so like, I say, I don't know how I've dabbed it. You know what? Go jump in that pool. Jump in the pool right now. You're going to cannonball, and you're going to go underwater, and you're going to swim underwater, and you're just going to say love underwater. Without, come up, get in the hot tub, submerge, so hot. So say love in the 60 seconds, come out, freezing bucket of water on your head. Love. It's I can't do it. I'm scared. Like I make people jump out of airplanes and do stuff that they really don't want to do. That is where you go, I did it. And I go, of course you did it.
At what point did you realize? Did you have that moment of transformation?
No, because
Or have you
no,
always been like that?
I think, from when I was very, very young, I saw and heard things that other people didn't. So
Mhm.
they would say, you're dreaming, and oh my God, stop it. You're just not. And I couldn't understand that they weren't witnessing what I was witnessing. And I was told that I was lying, or I was, whatever. Stop it. That's just ridiculous. And I think because it was so real to me, I just went, oh, I just can't. You just have to know your reality. You have to know your truth. And I never questioned my truth, no matter what everybody was saying around me, whether they be teachers. I had child psychologists my whole life. I've been on Ritalin. They could not figure me out. I had to do a million tests because, of course, my whatever it's called was off the chart for intelligence. Although I don't use that kind of intelligence, it's not how I roll. I don't care about that sort of stuff. But I would always go, whatever that is, whatever world I'm in, I could see that I would blow their mind. They would be like, they couldn't understand what, if I was looking at a grid of 1,000 cross hatchings and dots and things in little squares, and I had to find the one that was different, I go, that one. And they'd go, how can you tell? How do you find it? And I go, I can see it. I can see it. And I think for me, the I can see it is what people don't allow themselves. I can see it as a child. Like I could see things. I could feel things. I could hear symphonies of, I didn't even know what a symphony was. I was like, what is this thing I'm hearing? Right.
It's meant to be. And I think you just made me think of something that just came into my mind. So I'm going to just say it, which is like, what if, like you say, they were always trying to figure out what was wrong with you, right? Why you were so different or whatever, right? It's like, if we could all ask ourselves, what if there's nothing wrong with you? Like, what
There
if
is,
you're exactly like, just to like have people like curious, like, what if I'm exactly in all my too much, too little, oh, whatever you are, like, what if that is exactly what needs to be here in the world? And I believe it is, but like, what for them to like question that, what if nothing's wrong with you and you're
and
actually
that's it. There
perfection?
is nothing. I go, you are miracles to everyone. It doesn't matter. There's this little homeless person at my um gas station, and he's the most and we miss the messaging. We'll miss it because our ego will, and he's like literally the size of this pen. He's the skinniest
Tiny.
little thing. He's like a bird, and he wears little blue jeans, and he's got old lady granny pants, stretchy granny pants, underpants over top of his blue jeans. And the first time I saw, he was coming asking for money, and I'm like, credit cards. Oh, I hate living in the world of credit cards. And I'm like, hang on a minute, just give me a minute. And he went up over where the kiosk was, where you get chips and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna come. And I thought, I've got to have something here. I searched my purse, and I found $5, 2 toonies and a loonie in the bottom of my purse, which is nothing, right? Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's that, right? And I called him over, right? And I said, come. I said, I don't, sorry, this is all I have. And he proceeded to, with his ladies' underpants, which by the way were like a purse. So all of his belongings were stuffed in the elastic of
Brilliant.
his underpants, ladies' underpants over his little blue jeans, no coat, very cold, no hat. Gave him the $5 and he went. And at first I thought, what was happening? But I, and then he did this most miraculous dance, kicking his legs like a little fairy and I'm like, is anybody seeing this? I'm like, can you see? Can anybody else at the gas station see? He did this more, and it lasted, I don't know, a minute. It went on.
Yeah.
And then he comes in towards me and he goes, you are the abundance. Well, this is the homeless person, abundance. Who uses that kind of language that I don't know? And he literally went like this and he handed me the money and I'm like, no, what's happening right now? I'm so confused about what's happening. And I thought, there's the storyteller giving a message which would have been lost had I not given and gone, oh, do you think you're not getting anything? Do you think you're not getting anything for everything you put out every day? You are. We just miss it.
Noticing the magic, noticing it. Yeah.
It's everywhere
everywhere
around you. We are doing the same thing and people are missing they're missing the messaging, right? But you go, how glorious is that? And there was a part of me that was like, oh, I don't have time to do this right now. And I always go, stop it. Oh Lord, like stop it. And I would never have gotten that.
Yeah.
Had I not, of course I'm running after him trying to buy him lunch, from the
right.
I mean, it was nuts, but he twinkled away. He was not even twinkle, and I think we are that. Wearing, we're out in the cold. We're wearing what we need to protect our armor to carry our stuff with us. And I thought, oh my God, I love you. This is such a brilliant moment. Why can't I film it? Why can't I give this moment to the
capture it?
It was creative. He literally gave me this dance as he hopped around and danced around and kicked his little legs in the air and did all this stuff. Like I was like,
oh, Elley, I feel like I could talk to you for 3 hours, but we've taken you longer than we're supposed to here.
I just love it. I love that you do this. I love that communication is the human connection. This is where the magic is. This is where it is, not outside of it in your home studio by yourself. Everybody thinks that's where the magic is. Yeah. It's when you recognize your audience, when you actually go, the only reason I open my mouth to speak ever is an audience that I usually forget is there. I usually am so worried about my read and what I'm doing and what I'm, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, if you can just go to the little guy in his underpants, the lady's underpants, remember that they're all there, that then all of a sudden you go, oh, the magic, I'm in it. But we forget our audience. So this to me goes, have an audience, give to your audience, wherever that audience may be. And guess what? Magic is created, which is what we are, magicians. And I just love you for doing this. So.
I love that. And I love that we have some nuggets in there about
nuggets,
returning to your magic and believing in it and forgetting the noise. And I just think I always believed in all the same stuff that you're talking about.
I know.
But that's why I think I love you so much. But it's just such a good reminder. And I always tell people just to loosen, get rid of that stuff. Because that's the stuff that binds us.
So much up here.
Yeah. And that's the part that takes away from your magic. So stop it, and I know it's hard because it's a hard thing to try to go back to, return to, but the childlike spirit in you, right? The return to who you really are at your core.
Throw a bucket of ice water over your head.
Okay.
And then go do your reads, right? All right. Because you're more alive in that moment that is reactionary than standing and thinking about your read. Just stick a pin in your own butt when you're doing it, or do something like that.
Right. Shock your system with some ice. That's where we're gonna leave with that. And
because I'm Canadian.
Because she's Canadian and she knows cold. I do too right now. We have a foot of snow.
Walk right outside. We got a bunch of snow here. Yeah.
Where are you? I'm sorry. Before you leave, I don't even know where you are.
I'm in Boston. Jess is in
Northwest Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. All right, my lovelies. Go. I adore you. Go. Let abundance be yours. Give it out.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for sharing yours.
Thank you,
Thank you for sharing yours.
Love you
so much. Bye, dolls.
Bye.